Hello everyone, welcome to Voices of Tezos India and I'm your host Sai Sandesh Markham. This show is a Tezos India initiative. Tezos India has been dedicated to growing the Tezos community in India and also promote the Tezos ecosystem by increasing its adoption. On this show, we speak about the projects that are built on the Tezos blockchain and speak to the teams who are behind it and learn their stories. On this episode, we speak to Aditya Gautam, who is the CTO and co-founder of Instaraise. Instaraise is building a DeFi universe on Tezos. It supports projects to raise funds, build communities, and turn their ideas into products. Aditya discusses his journey into blockchain, talks about Instaraise and Tezos, and also shares with us Instaraise's plans for 2022 in this very intriguing episode. So let's jump right in and have a listen. Hello Aditya, how are you?
I'm fine, Sai. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. I want to say thank you so much for making time and being on the show. Welcome to Voices of Tezos India.
Thank you. My pleasure, Sai. Thank
That's
you for
great.
having me over here.
Now, I did some research on you, and you have such an illustrious career, man. You have a great profile. Your career is so illustrious, and I think I would like to start off by asking, how did you get into the blockchain space or the Web3 space, and what are you currently doing?
So actually graduated back in 2016. Since then, I have been into Web2. Been hearing a lot of buzzword, this Bitcoin, all over the places, but never been interested, that much into the crypto ecosystem. But then back in end of 2019 and starting of the 2020, I went to IASC Bangalore. And that's where I saw Omar. We are speaking about cryptocurrencies and blockchain and Tezos, uh, all about it in over there as a speaker. That's when I was really, attached to it. So as a developer, as a passionate developer, you always want to upgrade yourself. You never know like which tech is gonna take the entire ecosystem. Back in 2014, 2012, there was PHP all over the ecosystem since Facebook was using the PHP tech. Now React is all over the place. It has taken the entire ecosystem. Nobody talks about PHP anymore. So that's it has been. As a developer, you always have to upgrade yourself and you have to be ready with the moving tech. And blockchain as a whole, the way at that time, the data corruption and the data, all the data theft were kind of happening, and the way blockchain has evolved because as a reflection of all the frauds that were ongoing that back that time. So it kind of really impressed me a lot. And then that's how I wanted to explore this Web 3.0. And it was surprising that I got a call from Om itself as an interview and to work for his company, Tezos. So that's how my entire journey into Web3 started. And it has been amazing so far. I had Om always, as always, is always supportive, and both Om and Jignesh kickstarted, kind of mentored me, and they are the reason of why exactly I kickstarted this Web 3.0 journey.
That's amazing. And what are you currently doing now?
Currently, I'm building Instaraise. Instaraise is a decentralized launchpad on top of the Tezos ecosystem, and it's the only launchpad right now for DeFi products on Tezos ecosystem.
Wow, that's amazing. Could you tell the viewers, the audience, a little bit more about Instaraise so that they can understand the project?
I was working for Tezos India for a short time, and as I was working there, so that time a lot over Tezos Slack channel itself, I used to get a lot of requests of people around the ecosystem. DeFi was exponentially growing on Tezos ecosystem. It has been exponentially growing. NFT marketplace, it has been crazy over here. So this exponential growth brought in a lot of project owners back in Ethereum or whichever chain you go. There always is a launch pad to help raise fund from the public investors and also get the necessary hype in the ecosystem. Without a hype, nobody knows about a project. So hype is necessary. So that's how it is. And when back then, when people used to approach me and they used to ask me to help them write the smart contract for this decentralized launchpad so that they can do the fundraise on their own platform, it was crazy for me that yeah, so many requests are coming. And then that time itself, I thought like, let's solve this issue. Let's write a smart contract that anybody can use, and it's totally safe, and fundraising becomes totally happens in a totally decentralized manner with an automated liquidity locking, which is the most key aspect of our launchpad. What it does is like it automatically locks the liquidity into the dexes, respective dexes. So completely making the decentralized fundraising safer for the public investors. So that's how it has been. Then at that time itself, I shared this idea with Divyo, who's right now my CEO. So we both thought, let's solve this issue. Let's solve this problem. That's how this entire journey of Instaraise came into existence.
That's amazing. I mean, I've been reading about Instaraise so much that it is just such a valid project. And I'll ask more questions about that later. But I read this XTC news article about INSTADEX, right? Which is a product of Instaraise. It is so interesting. So tell us, how is INSTADEX different from other DEXs?
Okay. As a founder, when I went into this ecosystem and I started INSTARAISE. So that time, my thought process is always has been that I have to be a problem solver. If whatever I do, if it is not solving some bigger picture, some bigger problem, then it's not worth it. So while DeFi was still existing on Tezos ecosystem, and there are various DEXs right now, a lot of DEXs that has been there, that is there existing on Tezos ecosystem. But there the farms right now, if you go and you put your money into the farms, it has got impermanent loss, and which kind of costs the way the token prices go ups and downs, and because of which it kind of also costs the investors, public investors, a lot of money. So your investment, your interest should always be saved. That's my perspective. Like as an investor, as a public investor, your whatever hard-earned money that you have owed, I will incentivize it, but I will not make it won't kind of, it should not be decreasing with the period of time. You should not lose your money. It's not the motive why I started this study. So that's why we kind of became the entire DeFi universe on Tezos ecosystem. We saw the different problems, smaller and bigger problems that were existing in the DeFi, other DeFi platforms, and that we wanted to resolve one by one. So that's where INSTADEX came into picture. It's I'll tell you more about it if you are.
Yeah, please.
Definitely. So I'll be a little bit technical over here. So basically, in a DEX, when you kind of put your liquidity, so what happens is you get incentivized for that liquidity that you put in. You have to use two different tokens, or one asset, one crypto asset, another token, and then put the liquidity into the DEX. And when you farm, you use that pairs to go to the farm, and for that farm, you get incentives in terms of rewards. It can be any cryptocurrency, it depends upon the platform, how you get the reward. But over here, what I thought is, let's say, if I'm building a solution, why a user should have to go through all the mathematical calculation? It should not be like, they should not be holding two assets in order to incentivize their holding asset, crypto asset over here. So that's why a single asset liquidity DEX came into the picture. So that's what we were focusing, and that's what we were targeting to build on Tezos. But then again, the farms basically is amazing way to get incentives for holding your asset. But it's also sometimes when you have two different assets, crypto assets, it sometimes results in impermanent loss, which costs some users, a lot of users, a lot of money. As you can see in PancakeSwap, people always complain about like we got due to impermanent loss, we have received such a less funds. It wasn't worth it. If I were holding that crypto asset, it would have been worth more than what I'm putting into the farm.
Yeah.
So that's how crazy it was. So that's where we thought about, let's ensure the farms, ensure the liquidity over here. So the liquidity provisioning on this INSTADEX that we are releasing will be in a single asset. And not only that, your farms, whatever the liquidity asset farms that will be kind of providing, will be also be insured over here. So that's the complete concept about INSTADEX and what it is.
Wow. But I love the concept that you are thinking about the investor. And I think that is the most first thing that everybody should be focusing on. And
Exactly.
kudos to you and your team for doing that. Now, let's go back to Instaraise and the entire DeFi universe, as we call it right now, that you are building. How easy are you making it for the projects to raise funds and build their projects?
So the entire fundraise process on our launchpad kind of happens in a very decentralized manner. There is a factory smart contract where any project who wants to raise funds through our platform, we kind of take data from them. First, we have a team that evaluates the project. It's all about protecting the investors' interest over here. So investors must be sure that if they are investing on Instaraise platform on any of the projects, they are a good project. They are backed by some good people, and they have a very strong point of their viewpoint on what the product they are making. So that's how we kind of build a trust, and we build the and that's how we protect the entire investors' interest over here. So that's how we are making it easy, more safer for the investors to invest in our launchpad. And the entire process of fundraising happens in a completely decentralized manner. There's a factory smart contract where the project owners, before doing any launchpad, if they are approved by our internal team that they are a legit project and they have a strong viewpoint about what they are building, and they are a good platform on top of Tezos, then keeping all those measures into our picture when we approve them, we kind of take all the data, like how much amount they want to fundraise, and when they are going to add liquidity to which DEX. There are lots and lots of DEXs on Tezos ecosystem. Our smart contract is compatible to handle fundraising on any of the DEXs on Tezos ecosystem. So whichever platform they want to fundraise in that particular DEXs, we automatically add a liquidity. We kind of everything is configured in the smart contract in a decentralized manner. So no hindrance. There is no hindrance from once the contract is deployed, there is no hindrance. Nothing can be changed. There's no hindrance from the project owner side. So this kind of prevents a rug pull. Rug pull is one of the biggest issues. Even Mark Cuban, you must have heard about this news. He invested on Titan, and all of a sudden, its price went to zero. So he was rug pulled. So that's how it's important to ensure that investors' interests are protected. So this is how this entire decentralized fundraising process happens on our platform.
I think more and more of these scams or the rug pulls that keep happening, more and more people are getting scared to get into it and everything. But people also should actually know that there are companies like yours who are trying really hard to make sure that these kind of things do not come across. So I think that way, kudos to Instaraise team again. I think the project itself is amazing. Now, you have such amazing expert advisors. You have someone from Zeppe, you have someone from, but you do have really good advisors, and having advisors is very, very important right now. Now, how important is it for projects to have members, to have mentors, and also the right set of advisors, especially entering the Web3, where Web3 itself is new?
Okay. So to answer this, like if you are a builder, if you have a great idea and Most of the people are trained to work in the Web2 environment. It's totally new world. Its adoption is still ongoing, and people there are lots and lot of things to be explored still in the Web3 ecosystem. So in that manner, it's always you're grateful to have advisors, mentors on board. Uh, as I said earlier as well, that because my Web3 journey started because I had such a great mentors, Malvia, Jignesh, they were such a great mentors. And Sandeep, who has been the advisor from Calumet to us, helped us a lot. It was first time that I was raising for a platform, a fund. And marketing is always something that is a problematic thing. Even if you are building something really, really amazing, even if you don't have that perfect marketing, not a lot of people will be knowing about it. So that's where that what differentiate a good platform from even if the platforms are good but they are not able to reach out to the people. That's the difference it creates. So the advisors like the founder of Zepay, Ajit Khurana sir, and Sandeep sir from Calumet, they helped me a lot to understand the market fit, to understand the right timing, when to do launches and how to demystify the entire Tezos ecosystems market space. So they helped me a lot throughout my journey. Not only that, on a personal level as well, Sandeep has been a great mentor to me as well. So it's always, that would be my advice, that if you are, everybody wants to right now work on a Web3 ecosystem. If you are starting your journey, if you really have some problem that you are solving, definitely don't be afraid to go for an advisor. A good advisor will definitely take you, give you good advices, mentor you, and definitely take you to places, that territories that you haven't explored. I didn't know a lot of stuff about the marketing at that time. That these mentors, these people, they helped me a lot to understand, which helped spread Instaraise across all the borders. Right now, if you see World Blockchain Summit, people were knowing about Instaraise before I could even tell them. So that's something that made me happy over here. And if you remember that time while we were launching our own token, that time it was surprising that in a blink of an eye, in one block time, the entire idea ran out. That's how the marketing has been crazy over here.
Wow.
So these advisors, their connects helped us reach out to different platforms, to different dexes and centralized exchanges over the ecosystem. So that's why advisors and mentors, if you take my advice, it's always necessary and you should be going for it. If you are new to this ecosystem, definitely go for them.
That's amazing. That's a really good piece of advice and good example as well. And that is very inspiring for more and more people to actually look forward to have few people on board and listen to what they have to say. That's a really good one. And like you mentioned, you have been in the Tezos ecosystem for a while now. Can you tell us what made you choose Tezos, even as to enter into the ecosystem, and why is Instaraise built on Tezos especially?
So, as I've told you, right, that my journey entirely started in the Web3 ecosystem from Tezos itself. So I was more comfortable working here. The community over here is crazy. If you go to the Twitter, the way they support all the projects, it's crazy. You will love them. No matter what, they will come, they will give you advices on your Discord, on the respective channels, what you should be doing, what is wrong, right? And they help you a lot. They help you outreach onto different platforms. They become your part of your platform. And that's something really amazing. That's every project that is looking for a community that is very supportive and very helpful. So this was one of the reasons. And apart from that, the governance and the way the upgrades has been happening on the Tezos blockchain itself is really surprising. It's changing so fast, and you never want to be the person who missed the opportunity to be the part of something really big. And with the way the Tezos is growing, the recent Ithaka update was a major update for Tezos ecosystem. And so this is how this entire ecosystem is growing of Tezos. And I did not want this is the picture that I saw very early. That from my mentors also, I got to know that this has been the plans of Tezos, and this is something, it is coming over the time, but this has been the picture of Tezos ecosystem to be the pioneer of the blockchain. And as a founder, I didn't want to miss on this opportunity, that I'm not building on something so passionate, blockchain.
That's actually true. To see blockchain race is, it's almost like any other race, any other competition right now. And the community, like you said, is very supportive. They even pick fights with the other blockchain guys. So it is becoming so strong. But you can see that the passion that people have for the blockchain, and I see that's a great thing. So kudos to you guys for that. And 2022 has gotten off to a great start with so much of adoption that's happening. Not just Tezos, a lot of all the blockchains, so much of adoption is happening, so many upgrades are happening, and people are getting a little bit more comfortable than ever. Now, what does 2022 look like for Instaraise, and what can we expect from this project this year?
So, you already have read the article about INSTADEX.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that we are targeting. Very soon we'll be releasing that. It's on the beta phase right now. So INSTADEX is one of the features, key DEXs that we are going to launch on the Tezos ecosystem. And it is surprising that a DEX like this does not exist on any other ecosystem other than Ethereum. So Tezos will be the second blockchain to adopt an insurance IL protection insurance-backed IL protection DEX DEX in any of the DeFi ecosystem across all the blockchain. So that's something really big that they're doing, and has taken a lot of our efforts, day and nights of research over here. So that is the most upcoming update that we have. And after that, we also will be doing fundraising. A lot of projects has also approached us. We have helped them raise funds through private investors, VCs in the early rounds. We'll be doing the fundraising. They are, aligned to come for the launching, for their launch on our platform. So we'll be launching them. But this time, instead of the launch or the liquidity raise that we'll be doing the fundraise, that will be in the terms of Insta tokens rather than of Tezos Tez. So what it will do is, for Insta holders, it's a good news. It's a great news. Why? Because when we'll be locking more and more Insta tokens, at that time, during the fundraising part, you can expect around 100 or 200K to be raised from the public investors. And so 200K or 100K worth of Insta getting, just imagine, logged into a DEX. So it will be a big movement of price. On the price aspect, it will be a really big movement. So does incentivizing the Insta holders over the period of time. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So that's the two updates that we are coming in. And later down the road, we are also thinking about taking Tezos cross-chain. So we'll be on the protocol level, we are still working on it. We are still doing our research, but we will definitely be going cross-chain and help other ecosystem. It's all about bringing the liquidity from other ecosystem to the Tezos ecosystem. So it's not always a very easy migration for everyone. People, they don't want to paying such a gas fee on Ethereum, then moving to the ecosystem. They are not so sure that how exactly, it's crazy stuff. So definitely we are kind of thinking a way that we can ease this transformation or this migration from other system to other blockchains into our own Tezos ecosystem. So that's something later down the road we'll be releasing a paper about.
Yeah. This sounds so exciting. Even to listen about it, so exciting, and to see companies always trying to work and trying to be blockchain agnostic is a good sign for the futures. Finally, I have one last thing to ask you, and probably most of them are waiting for this. What advice would you give to those who have just started their journey in Web3? Or who want to, probably like you back in 2016?
Okay, so I would definitely give them an advice that it's as if they are passionate about building something, if they are a founder, they're exploring ecosystem problem solving. Web2 already has lots and lots of drawbacks.
Mm,
Its perks, but it also has lots and lots of drawbacks. If crypto, something around the crypto regulation is holding you back, don't be afraid.
mm,
This is the high time that people, every builder should be building their ideas and making it a real product onto the blockchain ecosystem. And while they are on it, Tezos, I would prefer that not to miss a chance to build on Tezos ecosystem.
mm,
And if they are looking for any advices or any mentorship, definitely I'm always here.
mhm.
Tezos India Foundation is here to kind of help them out. And yeah, that's all about it.
Yeah, that's
Definitely,
great.
they should be building.
Absolutely. You're so right about that. And I'm sure many of them will reach out to you after this interview because you've openly said that you don't mind mentoring. And I hope you do help out a lot more startups in the projects because they definitely need it. So, Aditya, thank you so much. This was such a wonderful conversation with you. I learned so much.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you. Thanks for having me.